Welcome everyone. Another demo review. First few matches of IEM Cologne started last night, not including the play-in earlier this week. And I'm gonna do another device demo review. I think I've done a few of device, but I mean to be fair, he's my favorite player and I like watching him, and I think he's really nuts. And when you have a 23-7 game, 2.23 rating on Mirage against Team Liquid, I think it's justified to watch more device. And I also think it's a bit interesting looking here. So since he's joined NiP, I mean, he hasn't really had too many um, negative series. I think this was is this what Flashpoint or something? I don't know. But yeah, I mean, yeah, hasn't had really too many negative games. If we look at events here, I mean, yeah, a 1.0 rating is his lowest at IEM Summer. They came second at Flashpoint 3 in his first tournament with NiP. And if you look recently across three maps of the play-in and then Cologne, so this was against 2-0 against Mousesports, and then they beat LDLC in a best of one, and then they've just beaten Liquid in a best of three, 2-1, and this probably should have been a 2-0 if it wasn't for Grim on Overpass putting up some big numbers on the T side, or on both sides really, to keep him in a. And yeah, probably should have been a 2-0. As you can see, a very comprehensive win on both Dust and Mirage. And we're going to be watching Device play Mirage. We're going to watch the whole game since it's a 16-2. Yeah, doesn't seem like there's any reason not to watch the CT side. There's only they get 13-2 half, so there's only 3 more rounds on CT side. And Stewie 2K comes walking in the apps. Got the Half-Life Advanced Effects POV mod, so no X-ray. We only see what device sees in game. And I remember Fallen. Yeah, what are you doing there? That's a very not very cautious, just coming running out there. They've actually stacked the site. So they've got one bench here, you can see his barrel. The device just takes the sound of the bench guy reloading as a cue to push. Grim isn't watching from the empty pillar. And that's just experience, that's just being a good player. And that's what I like about Device so much, is he's a professional. He really just consistently good, and that doesn't happen by accident. I know the Device is the type of player that really puts a lot of hours in, puts a lot of effort in to improve and to be the best that he can be. I mean, it's quite inspiring, really. Like, if you're thinking of a player that you want to represent the professionalism of this game, and you want to say this is like a real sport, a real thing. Counter-Strike, playing Counter-Strike is, it's like playing basketball or soccer. Device is the example you put up as the player, the type of player that you want. And I like that just slow walk up, kind of like a Gambit style round where they know they have the better positions, the better guns, you know. So many teams, they just want to, once they get into a position of advantage, they just want to push it and finish the round. They don't want to like, it's almost like they're speeding up the round because when they have the advantage, because they just want to finish it off, and they don't want to allow the team to get a chance to come back and win it. Which makes sense, but it also means that it's just a eco round. You can see the stack at the ticker box, and we'll just fast forward. Picking up the orb. Yeah, they also like playing fast, and it also means you can lose it. Holding this connected position, I remember Fallen just comes peeking right into that. That's a very easy kill, and Fallen very ready for that. You see Molly come from short. He's burning a bit. Yeah, how best to describe this? Like, let's say you have the advantage in anything, not just in Counter-Strike. You want to like press your advantage for a win, but some people get lost in how they do that. Some teams, like you've seen Gambit being very successful at, is that once they know that they have an advantage, they kind of just hold and they play slow because they know that the enemy knows that they have the advantage, so they have to make the play to kind of recoup some of that lost kind of map control or even like a player advantage. Get what I'm saying? Like there's and this applies to all games really, or life really. But yeah, there's, you know, you don't have to, just because you have the upper hand doesn't mean you have to rush. Doesn't mean you have to play fast. But sometimes you go too far the other way. You see teams like Na'Vi, and how many times have you seen Na'Vi with an advantage in the round play themselves like and somehow lose the round because they take too slow and they give up their advantages by taking too long, or they get flanked or something, and they're too timid. There's got to be kind of a balance between, you know, being aggressive, pressing your advantage, not allowing the opposition to get a moment to breathe, a moment to think, you know. Some eco or force buy. Shooting Grim. You know, because you have the upper hand, you have the advantage of taking action. Nice headshot there onto Stewie. And 5-0 start. I haven't made a video about a Team Liquid player yet. I am kind of interested in how Team Liquid go at this event. Bringing back a Dren as coach. Fallen's been in the roster a while now. It seems like this is the team that they all signed up for. Richard Lewis did an interview with Elige recently, and watching that, you get the sense that they're confident about their chances, especially at Stockholm Major coming up. They think this is the team that they can, you know, contend for that. But I'm yet to really see the results to support that. Naf saving on B with the AWP, and they just look on the mini map. They're all just there's nowhere for Naf to go. One at two incoming market, one at apps. Device holding short. I suppose Liquid have been stuck in NA for a while due to COVID. They haven't had some of the chances at these lands, like, or not lands, at these events like the European teams have had. So yeah, I am interested for the Team Liquid journey. Another eco round. Fallen was just sitting in that molly. I like that move there. Kind of jumping up in that smoke, and you get 2 eco frags out of that. Well played. Could have had the third as well. Fallen was just standing in Device's molly. Market window smoke. Flashes over. And I think I'm getting a little bit tired of hearing how Device doesn't know how to play Mirage. I think that's a bit ridiculous. Yes, I know that it was the Astralis permaban for like 2 years, but if you remember before that, it was Astralis that were owning Mirage. Astralis that created that top mid smoke kind of CT default where they would smoke the top of, they would molly and smoke the top of mid, and they would push up mid and take mid control at the start of the rounds as part of their CT default. You don't see that too much these days, but it was like a couple of years ago, I guess, and yeah, Astralis were one of the best Mirage teams. And it's not like these guys don't play Mirage in their practice, or maybe they don't in their team practice, but in their, you know, they play the game a lot, and I'm sure they've played Mirage. I've played the game not nearly as much as these guys, and I've played Mirage almost to the point where I kind of sick of it. So I can only imagine what these guys are like in terms of map knowledge and stuff on Mirage. Nice. Clearly knows his angles. And I think now is the time. Like, I get the feeling that Device has really bed himself into this team, and he's just now one of the ninjas. You know, when he first joined, you know, you could kind of see that. You could see how he was especially on the T sides, you could see how he wasn't part of the unit so much. He was just more sitting in the flanks, sitting in the rear, holding angles and holding the flank. But now, after some time now to playing together, you can see that like they're really a team now. Like there isn't, maybe there's a few minor things, but that's the same with all teams. I think there's a few minor things that pros are working on all the time. Mid player's dead. Stewie's holding B with an AWP. We're just gonna commit to holding this. No, we're not. You were. Knows the timing of the smoke fade. That's pretty nice. Gets a liege, 3v1. Two oppers to contend with, and I mean, not bad. 5v2 to 3v1. Rez is just killing everyone on the A side. And it's a 4v1. The rest of the team in apps. And we're just gonna sit here and wait for Rez. Wait for Rez to kill them. Flanking, flanking, flanking. And Naf doesn't even get to save. I mean, Nip have always been good at Mirage. Well, not always, but I think they were a pretty decent Mirage team before they got Device. And as with all teams, it takes a little bit to work him in, especially playing a map that was his permaman. So maybe that process was a little harder. But that's part of being a professional, is you got to do stuff, you know, you don't want to do. You got to do the hard stuff and still put in the hours. That's what it takes to get good at something. And Device dies. Oh my god. Feels like he's only died I think once before then. Fallen Dead 2v5, 5v1. Stewie on B site with an AWP. And I think Device died again. Yeah, he did. 12-1. Not going well for Liquid. Bit of an understatement there. 4v3. Man advantage. Well, when they get the opening pick in the round, they convert it 100% of the time, but they just don't get that opening pick very often. We've seen Fallen just walk into Device's scope. Even on the pistol round, I think that was a little careless. How he just came running out, not even looking at Van, running across the site. I don't know where he thought the T's were. You know, you had I think it was Grim and Stewie on the site. But we're in the 3v1 now. May as well give it a go. We saw him connector, and we just get our head blown right off. Last round of the half. I already told you it's a 16-2, so they do win this round, spoiler alert. Fallen dig it with the AWP. We hear one CT running past. Wow. It's Fallen last with the AWP, right? Unless he was the other one that died. I don't think I think he's still alive though. Yep, Fallen last with the AWP. Ticket. 2v1. You gotta assume he has a kit. Plopsky peeks and they win. 13-2. Not feeling good if you're Liquid here on the decider on the opening match of IEM Cologne, getting absolutely rocked by NRP. Interesting to see how well they do NIP in this tournament. I do think they're a good team, but there are some definitely good teams in this tournament. I think the experience of Device will really help in the LAN environment. Even though it's not a full LAN with crowds and everything, it's definitely more legit than just playing in your bedroom. And a nice 2k before we finally get traded. M4 armor, no nades. Feeling good. Yeah, I really like Device. Device, one of my favorite all-time players, probably my favorite player. Device and Rops, my two favorite, I would say. They're definitely the two I've watched the most of their demos. And they're definitely the type of players I tried to mimic. And I think people just, I don't know, they kind of underestimate like how hard it is to be so consistently good. And they're gonna come B, and Device is ready with his M4. Can only get one though. Three v one, Elige. Where's Elige? He's short. "17 seconds. Gotta get the bomb down." And we're just gonna... He's got no idea. Last round of the half. PP Bison time. One minute left, the last round. Come on, Liquid. Two with the PP. And 16-2. Like I said at the start, 23 and 7, 120 ADR, 100 KST, 2.23 rating for the whole map. Doesn't get much better than that. Anyway, I thought that was really good. I really like Device, and you know, if we do 100 Device demos, I ain't gonna be upset about it. FaZe Astralis starting soon. I think that'll be an interesting matchup. Yeah. Hopefully FaZe have a good run in this tournament. And yeah, thanks for watching. I'll definitely be uploading more from IEM Cologne, so subscribe if you haven't already. I'll catch you guys in the next video.